not that you want it, needs a blockbuster acquisition the most. Now, we have to operate with some rules. And the rule is this. For the Wings, there is no free agency available now. It would be a trade. For the Pistons, there is no free agency available. It would be trades. Mm-hmm. For the Tigers, I could allow a window of free agency based on the winter meetings that are upcoming. But a trade could be in play, and we all know the trade many of us have talked about, but we'll leave it alone. But my question is, whether it's the Iser plan, whatever Scott Harris's plan is, or the newly minted president of basketball ops, Trajan Langdon, of the three non-Detroit Lions teams in this town, which of the rebuilds demands a blockbuster move the most? Because I think you could make the case for all three. That's the fun of it.
Yeah, that's a
power rank it out. And people feel free to chime in, but I don't think you could call up and tell me none of them do. So which one needs it most? And I'm not giving my answer right away because Rico always accuses me of poisoning the jury. So I'm not going to do that.
Me? I never do.
Always.
No.
Go ahead.
I mean, you had the big Red Wing breaking news earlier today. You are a savant.
That's right. We signed Peter Stosny. All right, so go ahead. Please tell me.
You know what, David? I'm gonna let you go first.
Oh, okay.
In honor of July and Black Jobs, you go first.
You know what, Kenny? I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna All right, Lear. Here's the thing. When I go through this in my head,
okay,
the Wings need a move to propel them into what we want, which is a top 3 in their division. Not a move that's gonna put them or they make the playoffs the last day of the season. No, we don't want that. Top 3. The Tigers, in my mind, need a move to reset their lineup, reset their prospects when it comes to bats. The Pistons, while they do need a move, I think they're the least of the 3 that need the biggest move right now because Langdon just got there 4 weeks ago.
What if, all right, so can I sell you this pen?
Sure.
What if the move for the Pistons isn't to acquire a star? It's to stock a war chest.
Get picks. I thought about that as well. Oh, my.
So each team needs to do something, but which one needs the big move most?
Here's what I'm going to say. It's because we've had such a playoff drought outside of the Lions in this town, I'm going with the Wings.
All right, David goes
I'm
Wings.
going with the Wings.
Kenny, which team needs to do it the most?
David, I'm glad you went with the Wings before you slid the microphone over to me because me saying the Wings probably means a lot less than you saying the Wings. I think it is the Wings because just in context of where each team is within their rebuild, the Pistons, you just said it, Langdon just got here. The Tigers, we're still kind of waiting on Scott Harris to do his thing. What did we expect from Scott Harris this year? We expected him to hopefully get a bat. He didn't do that. We were expecting more out of the Red Wings, and they're further away from the goal. The goal was to be in the playoffs, thoroughly in the playoffs, and from this offseason, we're not close.
Rico. I'm waiting. Rico.
I like where these two, their headers at with the Wings. I disagree. I'm going to go with the Pistons. The reason being, the Pistons are awful. They're irrelevant, and no one cares about them. The Wings and the Tigers, you're frustrated because you see the potential, and they're not quite hitting it, but it's enough that you're buying in and you're invested. No one cares about the Pistons. You won 14 games last year. You right now in the city of Detroit are a step below Detroit FC soccer. That's where you are, okay? So the Pistons, they got to do something because they're irrelevant. And for the first time since ever, no one cares about this team.
See, if I give you my honest answer, it's going to sound like I'm trying to be provocative or different. I'm not. My answer was the Tigers. Because, look.
No. It's Mike, I don't mean to cut you off.
Fine.
This is one of those, I don't think there's a right answer or a wrong answer. You can make a case for all of them.
I feel like the Tigers have the pitching that they could win their division had they done anything. And whether the big move is getting Javi Baez out of my universe or whether it's trading Skubal to get high-end prospects to speed this up. Because let's look, you just heard Jeremy Otto. Look, everybody's excited, but Max Clark and McGonigal are 2 years away. You know, McGonigal's entered the top 100 prospect list. Wonderful.
Clark will be in the All-Star.
These guys are at single A.
Yeah.
Okay, so now they're a year away from being a year away. Like that is way out there. With the Wings, I could make a case, and I'm not telling you I would bet my life on it. I could make a case that next year, all of a sudden, you're talking about Evanson being one of the best young defensemen in the game. You're talking about Costa coming up. Happy birthday, Kenny. And the Wings all of a sudden are a playoff team. Now, I agree they need a move to be more than just fun. The Tigers could win something of consequence. Like, I don't want to open this can of worms, but like once again, Matt Chapman, who was Rieger and Cookie's guy, he's going to be a 6.5 WAR player again this year. JD Martinez, killing it. Bellinger, killing it. The Wyatt Langford thing. They could be doing it now. Mm-hmm. So I'm not saying it to be different, and all I can offer you is my word as a man. I'm not screwing with you guys.
No, Mike, this is one where you can make a case for all three. Like I said, for me, it's just because the Pistons are obsolete. No one cares about them. You are awful. There's no other way to put it. You don't see a future. We're talking about, can you just blow this up and go the OKC route with a war chest and maybe build it back up? So, yeah, you need something. If you're going to keep Cade, you need somebody with him, or else this all falls apart, because then Cade walks and we have to hit the reset button yet again.
I still in my heart, Tara, I hate saying it, but man, unless things don't get a lot better in the next 18 months, trade deadline at 2026. Cade's reps get me out of here.
Yeah.
I mean, they have to get better. And I know this year will be a wash. I can't put that on Langdon. But, man, they better have a huge summer next summer and get this kid some help. You decided to pay him. I wasn't committed to that.
See, actually, this year can't be a wash because you decided to pay him. You're playing the game.
I can't.
So I can't sit here and say, no, not you, but I can't sit here and say, well, this year doesn't matter. No, you knew what you were doing. First of all, Trajan, when you took this job, you knew this was a bad situation. You don't get unlimited runway.
Oh, so, Steve Yzerman does.
Well, that's where I'm at. Is I think I'm 6 years into my rebuild. Scott Harris, this is year 2. Langdon just got here. So I find it wholly more unacceptable for the Red Wings to be where they are versus the Pistons where they are and the Tigers where they are. It's unacceptable to me that we're not talking about a deep playoff run team 6 years in. The Tigers, I can work my way around, and the Pistons, I can too.
248-539-9797. So which of the rebuilds needs, not that you want, we want big moves everywhere. We want to root for radio. Which rebuild needs it the most? I can build a case. The Wings are a playoff team without the move. I agree with Kenny. I don't think they're going to be a team of consequence without the move. The Tigers, guys, it's very difficult for me to have optimism because, again, Max Clark and McGonigal are at single A. You are years away because what you don't want to do is rush them. So even if they got a cup of coffee next September, years, plural, away, there's nothing to bridge the gap. I'm not excited about anything because nothing they've done has worked. I'm not excited about anything because they seemingly won't spend money and they seemingly don't have anything in the pipeline that's ready to roll. Not that we're excited about. You know, Parker Meadows has not put it together. Justin Henry Malloy, at good luck. Enjoy the inside the park, 50% K rate. You know, Torque looks irreparably broken.
Veerling.
Face of the franchise, Matt Veerling. The point is, if they made a big move, I think they could elevate from pretender to contender in the AL Central. I really believe that. With the Pistons, here's the problem. I can't come up with a move that would make them a playoff team. Not that's remotely realistic. And you're not wrong for saying they need it the most. But Rico, I could put LeBron James on this team. They're not a playoff team.
They're not a playoff team, Mike, but because in the NBA, the fewer amount of players, 2 players could all of a sudden turn this thing around, and you're like, wow, didn't see that happening. You become the
Tim
Kings.
Hardaway Jr. and Tobias Harris. Get excited. Call for tickets.
I'm going to see my way out.
248.
Mike will be here till 6.
539-9797. We'll get your phone calls and ticket texts coming up.